Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to learn about the types of seam, the four basic one: open, French and overlaid. For the open or the plain seam, you begin by marking the wrong side of the garment and then placing the two pieces together, right side facing, and then later you mark the seam line, which is 2 centimeters. And that seam line will be our stitching line. So you go to the machine and stitch through that line. When you're stitching any seam, it's important you fasten on and fasten off. That means you backstitch when you're beginning and backstitch when you're finishing. The next step after stitching that seam is to neaten the raw edges. And there are different methods of neatening the raw edges, but in today's I'm just showing how to edge stitch. So we just edge stitch, fold backwards, and then you stitch close to the edge. And our open seam is done, as simple as that. The second one is the double stitched seam. As usual, mark the wrong side and the right side. And for this seam, you are going to place them wrong side facing one another, right side uppermost. And then you mark the position of the stitching line on the right side of the garment. And that's it, we have already marked. So we are going to stitch on that line on the right side of the garment, securing the edges properly. So after that, we are going to press open, and then we are going to mark halfway the seam allowance, and then we trim it. We trim it, all of it. And then for the other one that is remaining, we are going to fold it like that, and then we stitch very close to the edge. And there is our double stitched seam. It's already complete. Just have a look at it. The next seam is the French seam, and as usual, mark the wrong side of the garment, and then we are going to put these pieces together, and wrong sides are facing each other and the right side is uppermost. mark the seam line 2 centimeters from the edge. On the right side, measure 1 centimeter and then you'll stitch on that line. So after that, we will trim the excess allowance and remain with like 1/4 centimeter. And then after that, we are going to turn. So the right side will be facing each other now and the wrong side will be uppermost. And then stitch on the seam line that we had already marked on the wrong side. And having done that way, our front seam is ready. This is also a self-knitting seam, just like the double-stitched seam, and it is good for children's dresses and for side seams. The fourth one is the overlaid seam. And for the overlaid seam, you're going to put the fabric together, right side facing each other and the wrong side uppermost. And then after that, you're going to mark the stitching line. And then you're going to pick one piece of that garment or that fabric and then fold at that stitching line, making sure that the edges are matching together, are in the same level. And then after you do that, you're going to stitch very close to the edge as shown below. So the next thing is to neaten the raw edges, as you can see, and we'll just trim them a little. Just trim them like that, and then we'll neaten them using a binding, a straight binding. So we will attach that binding on the both edges as shown, and then fold over the binding and cover all those ends or edges of the raw edge, and then you finish them very neatly and securely. So basically, those are the 4 basic types of seam. They are important for every beginner to learn. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly remember to like, subscribe, and share with others.